I want to do a very light overcasting stitch on the edge of this fabric, single edge, so it doesn't unravel when we start to use it. So I'm going to show you how to use the sewing advisor up here at the top first and show you a couple ways you can change this up. So this is a lightweight fabric, so we're going to go across in the top row, the first row, and the technique is overcast, which if you look at each of the gray columns, at the top there is a little symbol of a technique, and you can refer to the sewing advisor video or your book of what all these techniques are. But the second gray one is overcast. So first row, that means we need stitch number 4. So I'm going to pick stitch 4, and that's kind of a multiple point zigzag it's recommending for this fabric. It wants foot J. Foot J is an overlock foot. It's kind of got a one toe and it has a little pin in here. I want to show you how that pin works. It makes it so the fabric doesn't curl over since we're just stitching on a single layer, plus we're right over the edge and we don't want the stitch to kind of crumple the edge of the fabric. The next one over is our tension. The tension says between 3 and 5, which we're there at 4. Stitch length is going to be preset for us, but let's just take a look. The stitch length is 4.5 and the width is 5. So we don't have to change it, but if I was on another piece of fabric thickness, that would be a different stitch altogether. So we'll switch out to the overlock foot and show you how to sew this. This foot is actually really easy to guide your fabric along because all you're going to do is just put the edge of this toe, the big toe, right along the edge of the fabric. Now once you start stitching, you'll notice that the needle will jump all the way over to and off the edge of the fabric. And if I just keep the fabric running right by that foot, the little pin that's down there is going to support when that thread jumps off the edge. Notice already it's how flat it's coming out back here. So I'm going to show you a couple things. This is one stitch I like. And again, if you have any trouble getting the last little stitch off the little stitch finger, just pull straight back. Sometimes that gets caught on there, not always, but sometimes. Another stitch is actually stitch 7. Let me show you how this will work. This will also stitch over the edge of the fabric. You'll notice by how fast the other stitch will travel down the length of the fabric faster, but this actually is a nice stitch. Once again, pull straight back. I've got a little stitch left on that little finger, but look how pretty that is. It's just a nice edge, and now my threads of my fabric won't unravel any further. So there's the first one. That's the sewing advisor's recommendation. Perfect, no problem. And then this is another one you can use. And just try out some of the other stitches that kind of jump off the edge of the fabric to the right as an option for overlock type stitches.